Hello and welcome to the live season finale of the ZTV Sports Report, your home for all things Akron Zips athletics. On today's episode, we'll be wrapping up our coverage of our fall sports, featuring an interview with football player Jaron Griffin, before continuing with our men's and women's basketball teams, and finishing up with our swimming and diving team. As always, I'm Zach Leininger.
And I'm Megan Williams.
And this is the ZTV Sports Report. Welcome back. As the football season came to an end, Davion was able to sit down with inside linebacker Jaron Griffin. Let's take a look at that interview.
What's up, ZTV fans? I'm Davion, and tonight we'll be interviewing Jaron Griffin, who is an inside linebacker for our Akron Zips, and he's also my fraternity brother at Kappa Alpha Psi. So how you feeling today?
Man, I'm feeling good. How about you?
I'm doing good, busy day.
Oh, yeah.
So first thing I want to ask is I just want you to tell us about yourself.
So first and foremost, give glory to God for everything. Real guy from Mississippi, all the way here in Akron, just taking it one day at a time. And I'm a pretty motivated guy. Always, everything's motivated to me by my family.
Yeah, so as long as you just, if you just get me to the
I'm really calm,
because I know what I want to say. I just don't.
And I'm just blessed. So
I was also listening.
Sure. So my first question to you is, what made you choose to come to Akron?
I had a full ride scholarship here coming out of high school, so just having the full ride and everything, and knowing that I'll be able to get up here and have fun and play the game I love. That's really the reason why I came up here, and for the coaches that was here too.
Right. Oh, and for all the fans that don't know, he's from Mississippi. That's why I asked, what made him come to Akron?
Yeah.
So what's your major?
Construction, engineering, technology.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and what you plan on doing with that for real?
I plan on having my own construction company. I feel like construction technology management is basically gives you the idea of the business side and the field side of construction too.
Okay. So what started your passion with football?
I'd say when I was maybe 7 years old, I started playing in this little league, and then it just started building from there, and I just kept getting better as the years passed. My first year, I didn't like it. I didn't want to play football, but then I went back at it my next year, and I loved it, and I made so many memories and that I still talk about today.
So that actually kind of goes into my next question, because I was going to ask, how old were you when you started football? So how old do you remember how old you was when you started the little league?
Yeah, I believe I was 7.
And 7.
Yep.
So you just been doing football since you was 7 years old?
Yep.
That's a lot of passion for it.
Yeah.
So how far do you see yourself going with football? Do you even want a career in NFL?
Oh, I would love a career in the NFL. I'm just I'm gonna keep on working to get to where I want to be, but I definitely know I will get there. So
that's facts. Keep doing what you're doing. I can't wait to see how you do moving forward and continue with your football journey. I already know that you're gonna make it. So yeah, I can't wait to see.
I'm ready.
So that was Jaron Griffin for the Akron Zips ZTV Sports Report.
Thank you, Davion, and thank you, Jaron. Well, Megan, it's been a little bit since we've talked about this football team. From what I remember last time we talked was a blowout loss to Bowling Green.
Yeah.
And it seemed like from there things were taking a negative, going in the negative direction. They played Miami after that, Eastern Michigan, Kent State, and then back in this Ohio game. So I'm just curious, how have you felt the team has played since we last talked?
Yeah, so we had the Kent game, as you said, and we were able to win that game right at the end, which was amazing because I was getting a little nervous that we were going to lose that one. But besides that, honestly, I feel like our team has been pretty inconsistent all season with their ability to just play cohesively as a team. So yeah, that was just, this Ohio game is just another good example of us just not playing the best as a team.
Yeah, and I mean, it was frustrating in this Ohio game to watch, because looking back on it, Akron came out to an early lead, 14-3 at halftime, and it seemed like the momentum was completely in their favor. And then in the second half, they just completely decided to play like a different team than they were in the first half.
For sure.
They gave up 22 straight points in the second half, and they just they let Ohio back in, and then they just let them run over them. And it's frustrating with that. They gave up 219 yards or 186 yards on the ground, 208 yards in the air. They had it in the beginning, and then they let it go. The defense got 3 sacks, but unfortunately the game didn't go the way they wanted it to. But we would have expected a little more from them. And then thinking ahead to next season, there's a lot that the Zips are losing. They're losing both Irons and Undercuffler, Lingard and Anderson, a couple players on defense. So it's going to be interesting to see where it goes from here. Do you have any final thoughts on the football team?
Yeah, like the fact that we're losing 12 seniors is going to be a bit hard for us to come back from, but we'll see what they can do next season.
Yeah. Well, that'll be all for our football coverage today. From here, we're going to take things over to Megan, who broke down the end of the volleyball team's season.
Hi everyone, it's Megan with the ZTV Sports Report, and today I will be talking about the volleyball team. I will be covering their most recent game today, so let's see how they are doing. In their most recent match, the Zips were at home taking on Buffalo. Akron was outplayed this match though, and ended up losing 3-0. Looking at this match, the Zips played well, but going against such a highly ranked MAC team is never easy. For the Zips, Faith Johnson was once again a standout player, with 14 kills and 3 blocks. Lauren Baker also played well, earning herself 8 kills. The team as a whole got 5 aces and 35 kills. However, with 20 team errors and a team hitting percentage of only 165, it was clear that the Bulls were just playing a bit better this game. On Buffalo's side of the net, Mandy Lee played great this match, with 30 assists and 1 ace. Abby Lee, her sister, also played really well, with 8 kills and 3 blocks. As a team, they only had 10 errors and an overall team hitting percentage of 300. And with that, the volleyball season is officially over, and we cannot wait to see what they do next season. This has been Megan with the ZTV Sports Report. Go Zips!
Thank you, Megan. Megan, looking into the volleyball team here, seems like pretty similar to the football team. Things took a negative dive. When we were talking earlier this season, it seems like the culture of this team completely changed after that Toledo series we talked about. They lost this couple to Toledo where they were in contention for the MAC tournament, and then they quickly fell out of that. They went on a losing streak. They won a couple games back. They went and beat Miami. And then they came back here and they got beat by a really good Buffalo team. But it seems like the season isn't the way we wanted it to be for a team that was really hot at one point and then ended the season just not. What were your thoughts on the volleyball team?
So honestly, coming into this game, I thought we were going to honestly play a little bit better just because we had the momentum of beating Miami twice in a row at their home stadium. So that always gives the team a little bit of motivation and hype. But yeah, this game even though Buffalo was so good, I really thought we had a decent chance of just sticking in a little bit more than we did because our team had 20 errors this game and they only had 10. So clearly if you have way more errors than the other team, you're not going to win that game. But on the bright side, Faith Johnson, as always, was a standout with 14 kills and she got 15 points in all, and then Aliska Vitiskova, she's amazing. She's only a freshman, and at the end of this game, she ended up having 1,000 career kills, 1,000 career assists already. So that's crazy for a freshman to have 1,000 career assists. So. Yeah,
I mean, with a team anchored by Faith Johnson, we've talked about, they've got the pieces they need, especially as you mentioned, Vitiskova, Torre. A few of the transfers they brought over. Seems like they really made quite the splash in the impact in this team, considering Tyson Norton's second year as the head coach. while I want to, really criticize the volleyball team for how this season is played, we have to put into perspective how they were last season. They went, I believe they were 6-24 last year. Yeah. They went 13-16 here, won double the games they won the season before. So it seems like things are taking the positive turn they want it to. How do you feel? I guess, what do you think? Do you feel the volleyball team is going to be competitive again next year? Do you feel like we're on a positive climb here?
Yeah, so even with those 4 seniors leaving, like Johnson and the other 3 seniors, I still feel very confident in this team. We still have Carliana, we still have Aliska and Vanessa Del Real, and we just still have a lot of our key players. So even without Johnson, I think we'll still be pretty solid.
Yeah, so they'll look to be pretty competitive.
Yeah.
Well, that is all the time we have for volleyball today. From here, we're going to take it into our first commercial break. But when we come back, we'll be jumping into our basketball teams. Stay tuned.
You're watching ZTV.
Have you ever found yourself feeling sleepy, distressed, or just downright bored? Then try Akron After Hours. Viewers have reported signs of happiness, comfort, and craving for more content. Tune in to 45-1 at these times to get your daily dose.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
I hate this history textbook. Class is so boring.
You think your class is boring? My science lab is 5 hours long. I can barely remember anything.
If only there was a fun way to learn this stuff.
Hey, check this out!
History and science don't have to be boring. 5-minute flashback and 300 seconds of science cover tons of cool topics. You can learn about subjects such as the science behind bilingualism, all the way to the history of Godzilla. Become the teacher and educate others about your passions. Check us out on 45-1 at these times. Have fun learning!
You're watching ZTV.
Welcome back. With the basketball season underway, we're going to take it over to Katie, who covered the men's team's recent game against Bradley.
What's up, everyone? It's Katie Bomber here with the ZTV Sports Report. Today, I will be covering everything Zips men's basketball and their recent matchup against Bradley. During the match, Enrique Freeman notched a double-double with 21 points and 18 rebounds to help the Zips take down the Braves. The Zips ended a 3-game losing streak as they took down a top 100 team in the NCAA rankings. This was a tough battle back and forth, but the Zips were able to clinch the lead and pull away from the Braves to secure the win. After jumping out to an 8-7 advantage, Akron went on a 6-0 run with 13:57 left in the first half, accumulating in a 3 from Johnson to increase its lead to 14-7. The Zips then surrendered that lead and entered halftime down 29-28. Bradley kept winding its lead after intermission, constructing a 44-41 advantage before Akron went on an 11-0 run to seize a 52-44 lead with 8:50 to go in the contest. The Zips kept expanding the margin and coasted the rest of the way for the 67-52 win. Akron capitalized on the 7 Bradley turnovers in the period, collecting 11 points off those turnovers. Throughout the game, Akron had 3 players score in double figures. Led by Freeman's 21 points and 18 rebound performance, Sammy Hunter tacked on 12 points and Nate Johnson helped out with 10 points and 7 rebounds off the bench. The Zips not only outscored Bradley, but also had a 41-30 edge on the boards in the win. The Zips were active in affecting shots on the defensive end, recording 5 blocks as a team, 4 of which were secured by Freeman. Taking a look at the offensive end, Akron cleaned up on the glass as well, collecting 15 offensive boards in the game, which resulted in 18 second chance points, led by Freeman's 7 offensive rebounds. Akron found a ton of success from the 3-point line, knocking down 9 threes in total. Sammy Hunter hit 2 threes against the Braves and has made at least 1 3-pointer in every game this season. The Zips win over the Braves recorded the 1700th win for Akron men's basketball program. This is Katie with the ZTV Sports Report. Go Zips.
Thank you, Katie. Well, Megan, things seem to be going pretty well for this men's team. They're off to a 6-3 start, anchored by Enrique Freeman. No surprise there.
Yeah.
Preseason MAC Player of the Year. He's just about in every Player of the Year conversation.
Yeah.
He's averaging a double-double, like 20-some and like 12. In this Bradley game, no shock that he had 21 points, 18 rebounds. He's been doing his thing, and he's got a lot of help around him.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're looking to be really competitive again.
Yeah.
So what have your thoughts been about the team's start to the season?
Yeah, so coming into this game, we lost to Bradley last season. So I think our team was just very prepared to play them because they wanted to beat them. And especially on your home court, you don't like losing on your home court. But this Bradley team, they're definitely talented as well. So before halftime, we were beating them by 1, but with like 3 seconds left, one of their players, Duke Dean, made this insane half-court shot, and I got to be honest, that was crazy. Like, I did not expect that, so good for him that he was able to make that. But for our team, Sammy Hunter and Nate Johnson did a really good job of backing up Enrique this game with their points. Sammy had 12 points, and Nate had 10. So our team is just so good all around that I have a lot of faith in them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, other players I was thinking of mentioning, some of the transfers. Caleb Thornton from NIU came over. He's really been a solid option at the guard position. Shema Scott from Wichita State. He's gotten some solid minutes here. Again, we shouldn't really be surprised at this. John Gross is leading this team.
Yeah.
John Gross seems like he's got it figured out, and he knows, he knows how to get the most out of his players.
Yeah.
And they're always a really competitive team, especially now that it just came to me. Ali is back now.
Yeah.
I can't believe I almost forgot about that one. Ali is back. We weren't sure if he was going to play, as we mentioned. We were talking before the show. We weren't sure if he was going to play before. He's back in the lineup, and the Zips are my favorite to win the MAC right now.
For sure.
Do you have any closing thoughts on the basketball team?
Yeah, I think just that Ali is back is going to make the team just so much more motivated and excited because he wasn't going to be able to play at the beginning of the season. So it's very exciting that we have him back now.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, we can wrap up our discussion of the men's team there, but we'll keep it here and take things over to Matt, who covered the women's team's home matchup against Tennessee State.
What is good, everyone? Matt here, and I'll be covering the women's basketball game against Tennessee State, which resulted in a final score of 55-49. I would like to mention that this game marked the first winning game under the coaching of Ryan Gensler. Without further ado, let's take a look. The Zips were off to a good start with a clean 3-pointer shot by Zakiya Rashid. Shortly after, the Zips were overpowering Tennessee thanks to a jumper by Reagan Bass and assistance by Alexis Mobley, getting them to 9 points. In the middle of the first quarter, sophomore Lene Riley did a missed layup and then would go off rebounds. With 3 minutes on the clock, Morgan Haney would score a 3-pointer, leading the Zips to a score of 12-4. After Tennessee State coming back during the second quarter, the Zips refused to hold anything back. In the middle of the third quarter, Reagan Bass performed a good layup with the assistance of Alexis Mobley, giving the Zips a lead by 3 points. At the beginning of the fourth quarter, Alexis Mobley wanted to make sure the Zips caught this one shown by that jumper she made, getting the Zips to 4 3-points. After 4 quarters of going back and forth, the Zips managed to beat Tennessee State by 6 points. This is Matt with your ZTV Sports Report, and as always, go Zips.
Thank you, Matt. Well, Megan, looking into this women's team, not exactly the same situation as the men's team. Men's team start off 6-3. Women's team, I believe, about 3-5 right now.
Yeah.
Kind of a shaky start. They've had, an up and down season thus far. They've been competitive in some games, not so competitive in others. You've been to a few overtime games.
Yeah.
And I guess I would just kind of, count that all up to be I guess, part of the learning curve as this team is figuring things out. Ryan Gensler came in to replace Melissa Jackson for this team. So they're, I think, having an identity problem right now. But one thing that hasn't changed is Reagan Bass. I know we're big on Reagan Bass. So what do you got to say about, Reagan specifically, or this team as a whole?
Yeah, Reagan has got MAC Player of the Week 3 times in a row now. And it's not shocking that she's gotten that, because in this game she tied her career high of 33 points, which is crazy. She also had 10 rebounds, so this game, of course, she got a double-double, which we love to see. But this women's team, besides Reagan Bass, they really need to find a couple of other players who are able to consistently score in double digits, so it's not just Reagan.
Yeah, I mean, we cannot expect Reagan to have to carry this team every game. I remember to start the season, I had an overtime game against Oakland.
Yeah.
She played 50 minutes in that game.
Yeah.
Reagan is playing, just about every minute of this game for this team.
Yeah. And
every time she's on the court, she makes an impact. On top of the 33 and 10 rebounds, 15 free throws, she's always down there. Seems like, in my opinion, she's one of the only aggressive players on this team. I know Morgan Haney, who came in for the Zips, as a transfer, she in the first game had 21, and I thought we were going to get a solid, a guard big combo that was going to lead this team. But then she's kind of fallen off. Zakiya Rashid, who's a returning player, she's not. Seems like she's a little inconsistent in her confidence. She shoots some, but doesn't shoot others she should.
Yeah, for sure.
Alexis Stewart is still hurt. We haven't seen her play yet.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of figuring out this team's got to do.
Yeah.
They gotta figure out who's going to step up with Reagan. On top of that, the team as a whole just needs to get better defensively. They got to close out. They have to box out because they're losing a lot of games they can win.
Yeah.
Just from there, do you have anything left to add on the women's team?
Besides the losses, though, we did have a win to Pitt, and that's the first time in the history of our school that we've ever beaten an ACC opponent. So I thought that was pretty amazing that we were able to beat an ACC opponent for the first time this year.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how the season goes.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic. This team was competitive in the MAC last season. I expect them to be probably pretty close to the middle of the pack again, but we'll see how things shape out. That'll be all for the women's team today. From here, we're going to take it into our last commercial break. But when we come back, we'll be wrapping things up with our swimming and diving team. Stay tuned.
You're watching ZTV.
I should have known my demise was at hand. My life was ended in a single snap from a madman. But, to everyone's surprise, I have returned.
Yeah! Sam, Elmo!
Oh, hey, Julia! You ready to play band with us? I'm gonna play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
You're watching ZTV.
Welcome back. We're finishing off today's episode with the swimming and diving team, so let's see how they performed in their annual Zippy Invitational. What's going on, everybody? Zach Leininger here, and today I'll be covering the Zips swimming and diving team and seeing how they did in their annual Zippy Invitational. The Zippy Invitational was a huge meet that saw the Zips welcome in 7 women's teams and 5 men's teams, featuring 4 days of jam-packed action. In typical Zips fashion, Akron came out of the gate hot on day 1, leading the competition with 240 points, highlighted by 2 first and second place finishes in the 200 medley relay and 800 freestyle relay. The Zips showed no signs of slowing down on day 2 as they increased their lead by 177 points. A huge reason for that was Abby Daniel, who set a new meet record in the 200-yard individual medley with a time of 156.78 before doubling back to help Akron set another meet record in the 400-yard medley relay with a time of 3:34.22. Moving into day 3, Abby Daniel continued her reign of terror, setting a new Mid-American Conference record, Akron program record, Ocasek Natatorium record, and Zippy Invitational record in the 100-yard butterfly with a time of 51:31, helping the Zips extend their lead to 249 points. Akron capped off a dominant weekend with several first-place finishes on the final day. Abby Daniel had another record-breaking performance as she rewrote the Mid-American Conference and meet records in the 200-yard butterfly with a time of 155.87. On top of that, the Zips ended the meet with an impressive showing in the 400-yard freestyle relay, setting a new meet record by a mere 0.04 of a second. Overall, the swimming and diving team tallied 2,086 points, winning the Zippy Invitational by 316 points, and finishing off the 2023 portion of their season on a very high note. This has been Zach Leininger with the ZTV Sports Report, and as always, go Zips. Well, Megan, looking into the swimming and diving team, they've continued to stay hot, as we were kind of predicting earlier in the season.
Yeah.
The Zippy Invitational was no different. Another dominating performance by a really good team, headlined heavily by Abby Daniel. Abby Daniel, in these last few weeks, last month, she's stepped up huge for this team. In this meet alone, she set 2 or 3 records across the board. She broke Mid-American Conference record, pool records, just team records for the program. She was going crazy. The relay teams have been their usual selves. They're normally racking up the first few spots in each of the events. Diving has been solid as well.
Yeah.
Not talked about a lot, but there were several first place finishes in the diving events, as well as the again in the swimming. Just how have you felt with this swimming and diving team?
Yeah, so at this tournament there was like 7-8 teams, and we were able to beat everybody by like more than 300 points. So if that doesn't show how dominant our team is, I really don't know what does. And none of these teams are even MAC schools, so we're literally just good no matter who we go against, which is amazing to say about a Zips team.
Yeah.
And I have to say that this team is probably one of the most dominant teams at the school, besides like maybe men's soccer and basketball.
Yeah, I mean they don't get the credit they deserve.
No.
So I hope we can bring some attention to this team.
Yeah.
As we mentioned earlier this season, they've won 9 out of the 10 last MAC championships. This season looks to be no different. Heading into the new year, this Invitational was their last of the 2023 season. So heading into 2024, they're going to look to carry this momentum, and I really expect them to be the dominant force we've seen them
Yeah, for
be.
sure.
Yeah. Well, that about does it for another season of the ZTV Sports Report. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and X at ZTV Sports and on YouTube at ZTV Sports Report. For the last time this season, I'm Zach Leininger.
And I'm Megan Williams.
Thanks for sticking with us, and go Zips.
This program was produced by ZTV at the University of Akron. Do you want to gain experience in video production, professional social media, or working with real clients? Visit the UA School of Communications online or follow us on social media to learn more. ZTV, make media, make a difference.